The man who was about to lose $2 billion felt calm. He was 28 years old, and he was certain he was right. That certainty is what we need to talk about, because the people who are most sure are often the ones who know the least. Let me start with the man on the trading floor. It is 1992, Singapore, the International Stock Exchange. A junior trader makes a small, ordinary mistake. She was supposed to buy 20 contracts. She sold them instead. The slip cost the bank about $40,000. Her boss Nick decides to hide it. He buries the loss in a forgotten account. It should have been caught within hours. But nobody noticed, and something happened inside his head. He got more confident. He told himself, I can win this back. Hold that thought, we will come back to him. Because his certainty is not unusual, it is human. Of all the ways the mind fools us, this one may be the most dangerous. Overconfidence pushes us to take the risk, to make the bet, to sign the deal, to jump. And it sits behind some of history's worst disasters. The unsinkable ship that sank. The reactor everyone swore was safe. The shuttle they launched on a freezing morning. But you do not need a disaster to see it. You see it on the road every single day. Ask a room full of people if they are above average drivers. Almost everyone raises their hand. Around 9 in 10 of us think we are better than the middle, which of course is impossible. Scientists wanted to measure this gap, so they kept it simple. They asked easy true or false questions. True or false, Australia is wider than the moon. I bet they're about the same, most people say. Are there more stars in the galaxy or trees on Earth? Most people pick the stars without hesitating. But here is the clever part. The questions barely matter. What mattered was the next thing they asked. How confident are you that you are right? 100% people said. Not 90, not 95, 100. Then the answers were checked, and the gap appeared. When people felt 90% sure, they were right about 3 times in 4. One team ran it online with thousands of people. The most confident group, the ones who felt totally sure, were right only about half the time, a coin flip. And this is not just regular people. Take professional economists who forecast the economy. They said they were about half sure of their predictions. They turned out right roughly a fifth of the time. There is a word for how well your feeling matches reality. It is called calibration. If you are well calibrated and 80% sure, you should be right 80 times out of 100. Almost none of us are. So why do we feel so sure when we are not? There is an easy answer, and most people reach for it first. We just love feeling smart. We enjoy saying, I knew it, I told you so. So our ego pretends to know when it does not. That is the comfortable explanation, vanity. But that answer is too easy. Set it aside. Because there is something stranger going on. And the first hint is uncomfortable. Meet a tailor named France in 1912. He had no scientific training, none at all. But he was obsessed with making a parachute suit. He tested it again and again. It kept failing. Most people would have stopped there. France decided the problem was not enough height. So he climbed the Eiffel Tower. And rather than test the dummy, he jumped himself. It did not work. Brave, yes, but also painfully not smart. Which brings us to a famous picture you have probably seen. A graph with a tall peak labeled Mount Stupid. The idea is simple and very satisfying. Know a little, feel like a genius. Learn more and your confidence comes crashing down. It feels true, it even has a famous name attached. But here is the twist. That mountain-shaped graph is not the real science. It is a meme, a picture that spread because it felt right. The actual study was quieter than that. They tested people on grammar, logic, and humor, then asked them to guess how well they had done. And here is the real finding. The people who did worst overestimated themselves the most, and the people who did best slightly underrated themselves. Those who know less tend to feel they know more. Now, part of this might be a quirk of numbers. Most of us guess somewhere in the safe middle. So the worst guessers look overconfident by default. But that is not the whole story. There is a deeper reason hiding underneath, and it has to do with the limits of your own brain. Picture that freezing morning at the launch site. Engineers had only a few hours to make a case. They knew the cold could harden a rubber seal, so they made chart after chart after chart. 13 of them, numbers everywhere. But the data was scattered. No single chart told the story. The managers could not hold it all in their heads. Overwhelmed, they felt confident the seals would hold. They overruled their own engineers. 73 seconds after launch, it was gone. To know how sure you should be, you have to imagine all the ways you could be wrong. And that is exhausting for a small human brain. How many new things can you juggle at once? That is your short-term memory, and it is tiny. Researchers loaded people's minds with more and more. Give them a list of letters to hold, then ask them to judge their own answers. As the load grew, their sense of being right fell apart. Even people with strong memory could not escape it. So overconfidence is not always arrogance. Often it is just your brain hitting its ceiling. And when the brain is full, it cheats. It swaps a hard question for an easy one. Watch how sneaky this is. Ask someone how happy they are with their whole life. That is a huge, tangled question. But ask first how their dating life is going. Suddenly, the two answers move together. The brain quietly answered the easy one instead. You never even noticed the switch. Now you might expect nature to delete this flaw. The confidently wrong should have died out long ago. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Overconfidence actually pays off. Put strangers in a group with a task. Watch who gets picked as the leader. It is the bold one who speaks first and loudest, even when their actual skill is only average. And our brains reward us for listening to them. Scientists scan people hearing confident advice. The reward center lit up. We literally feel good when someone sounds sure, which sets a trap. The person who sounds most certain wins your trust. In an interview, in an election, in a meeting, even when they cannot deliver what they promise. And nobody understood this better than Nick. Remember him, let's go back. His secret losses were quietly growing. His plan was to bet the market would rise, but it kept falling instead. So he doubled his bet, then doubled it again. One more win, he thought, and I am evens. Sometimes the market turned and saved him. He even climbed out of the hole once. He went out dancing, free at last. Then Monday came, and he made a fresh mistake. And he hid that one too. The hidden hole grew. 40,000 became millions. And the bank kept handing him money. They barely understood what he traded. They just believed in their star. Now think about why feedback matters. In a chess game, the rules are clear. A bad move loses a piece right away. Clear feedback teaches you to judge yourself. But markets and politics are noisy and slow. You rarely learn quickly if you were right or wrong. So even experts get fooled. One analyst predicted 9 elections in a row, then used the same method and got the 10th wrong. The noise had clouded even his trained judgment, and Nick was lost in the same kind of fog. His bets had grown almost too big to imagine. He was now half of an entire market. All he could do was wait and hope. And for a while the calm held. Then the ground itself moved. A great earthquake struck near a major port city. The market plunged with the city. Nick bet everything on a fast recovery. It never came. In the end, the hole was nearly $3 billion. He went on the run, and one of the oldest banks in the world collapsed. He was caught, and he was just 28. Now, you will probably never run a bank into the ground, but you carry the same wiring he did. In a noisy world with a tired brain, those quiet shortcuts take over, and we end up thinking we know more than we do. So what can you actually do about it? Here is the first quiet trick. Stop saying you are certain, start keeping score. Instead of I will finish by Friday, try I am about 60% sure I can. People may laugh, that is fine. You are training your sense of truth. The second trick is even simpler. Get feedback, real honest feedback. It stings a little, it is the best medicine there is. And the third is the hardest and the best. Listen to the people who disagree with you. Ask what they see that you might be missing. Because here is the gentle secret. The best calibrated people are not the ones who know the most. They are the ones who know what they do not know. So you do not have to be certain to be wise. In fact, a little doubt is a quiet kind of strength. The next time you feel completely sure, pause and let yourself wonder. That small pause is wisdom, and it is yours.